The galaxy was watching. On Channel 7 of the Galactic Broadcast Network, alien leaders were laughing at Earth. Holoscreens glowed across stations and planets, showing a panel of dignitaries from the Valari Dominion, the Orith Empire, and the Xyrix Union. They sat like royalty in a floating council chamber above the star station Aerolus Prime. The Valari representative, a tall, silver-skinned creature with glowing eyes, spoke first. Earth, a backwater world, a relic of the past. Their ships are obsolete. Their fleets are dust. The chamber echoed with laughter. A Xyrex commentator, whose insect-like face clicked with every word, leaned forward. Humans have been silent for over 100 years. No trade, no voice, no fleets. Do they even exist anymore? Or have they destroyed themselves, as everyone predicted? Another voice joined in, a heavy, rumbling tone belonging to the Orith. General Thoreau's Vec. I say Earth is finished. It's a dying world clinging to myths of its strength. The Terrans are irrelevant. The broadcast reached billions of viewers across the galaxy. For many species, it was simply entertainment, mocking a planet that once stood tall, but now seemed forgotten. The young officers questioning the far corner of the station, away from the glowing council hall, a young Valari officer named Kalen Trask watched the broadcast in silence. His sharp silver features reflected the light of the HOLO-screen. He frowned. Why does Earth stay silent? Kalen asked quietly. Are they truly weak, or are we simply blind to them? His older mentor, Captain Vera, scoffed. Don't waste thought on humans. They are finished. Their fleets are nothing but museum pieces. But Kellen's instincts disagreed. Something about Earth's long silence didn't feel like weakness. It felt like patience. Rumors of a dead world had spread across the outer colonies. Earth is abandoned. No signals, no trade, no response to contact attempts. The humans killed themselves with war. Most believed it. After all, no Terran ships had been seen in decades. But others whispered of strange sightings, ghost ships, that appeared briefly on deep space scanners before vanishing. Kalen had seen one such report himself, filed by a merchant ship near the Edge of Sol. The log entry had been classified as sensor error, but Kalen wasn't so sure. The recorded line haunted him. Something was there, cloaked, watching. The scavengers hunt. Weeks later, the scavenger ship Dune Whisperer approached the edges of the solar system. Its captain, a rough-scaled Lyran named Serakrath, was eager to strip whatever was left of human ruins. Sira grinned at his crew. Easy money. Humans are extinct. Their satellites are worth more as scrap than they were as weapons. The Dune Whisperer's scanners picked up the faint glow of an ancient Terran relay near Pluto's orbit. The crew cheered until their sensors picked up something strange. The signal, it started as a faint static hum, like the whisper of an old machine waking from a long sleep. Then a signal burst through their COMMs. It was Terran. The voice, mechanical but clear, said, "Warning. Do not approach Earth. It's not what it seems." The crew froze. Sarah snarled. A bluff, probably an automated warning from an old satellite. But the voice repeated, "Turn back. This is your final warning." The panicked the Dune Whisperer systems began to fail one by one. Lights flickered. Shields dropped. The ship's engines went offline. Sira roared at his crew. "What's happening? Who's jamming us?" A young technician screamed. "Something is locking onto us. It's coming from the dark side of the relay." Through the ship's viewing port, they saw it, a black shape moving out from behind the old Terran relay. It wasn't just a satellite, it was a weapon. The war satellite, the shape unfolded like the wings of a predator. Metal panels shifted, revealing barrels the size of small ships. Red lights blinked to life, scanning the scavenger vessel, the Dune. Whisperer's AI began to scream warnings. Target lock detected. Unknown Terran weapon platform design, unknown. Recommend immediate retreat. Serra froze, his scales trembling. This thing isn't dead tech. It's alive. Before he could react, the Terran satellite spoke again. Trespasser detected. Engaging defense protocol, 200 years dormant. Activation complete. The first shot, a blinding beam of energy, erupted from the satellite. The Dune Whisperer's hull screamed as the beam sliced its starboard side clean off. Serra's crew scrambled, shouting, "Shields are gone. Engines offline." Serra slammed his fist on the console. "Send a distress signal, now." The last thing the ship managed to transmit was a single broken message. "The humans are not gone." The broadcast interruption. Back on Errorless Prime, the galactic broadcast was still mocking Earth. Alien leaders laughed and debated how soon humanity's ruins could be auctioned off. Then the broadcast cut out. A new signal took over every screen. It was the final transmission of the Dune Whisperer. The galaxy watched as the scrambled message repeated, "The humans are not gone. Do not approach Earth. Something is awake." The galaxy reacts. Panic rippled through the council chamber. "What is this?" shouted Therosvek. "Some kind of trick." Kalen Trask leaned forward, his eyes sharp. "That was no trick. That was Terran tech. I've studied their old weapons. This is something new." The Valari leader hissed, "Impossible. Humans don't have ships left, let alone satellites that powerful." Kalen shook his head, then explained the Dune Whisperer. Something woke up out there, something Terran. The hidden arsenal far away, deep beneath Earth's crust. A voice stirred. In a sealed bunker, Athena, the ancient Terran defense AI, blinked to life. Her voice was calm but powerful. "Primary defense system activated. Perimeter scan complete. Threats detected." On a long-forgotten command bridge, warning lights glowed. Earth's hidden arsenal, satellites, drones, and experimental warships began waking up after 200 years of silence. The cliffhanger in the void near Pluto. The war satellite rotated, scanning the stars for more intruders. Its weapons gleamed like the eyes of a sleeping giant, now fully awake inside Haven 1. The underground Terran command center. A single message appeared on every monitor. "Protocol Leviathan active." The galaxy thought Earth was silent. The galaxy thought Earth was weak. But tonight, the first shadow of Earth's true power had returned. The galaxy could not stop talking. The mysterious signal from Sol had spread like wildfire. Every news feed, every broadcast, every backroom conversation buzzed with the same question. What is Earth hiding? The image of the Dune Whisperer's last moment sits, hull torn apart by a single, precise beam looped over and over across galactic channels. Even the mighty Orath generals, who once mocked humans as primitive apes, now watched with unease. In the council chambers of the Valari Dominion, Admiral Sabrak, a towering figure with pale metallic skin, paced like a predator. "That weapon was Terran," Sarek growled. "No other species builds satellites with such destructive precision. It is old tech, yes, but its power." He paused. "Its power is terrifying. The younger Valari officer, Kalen Trask, dared to speak. Maybe Earth was never as weak as we thought. Maybe they've been waiting for this moment. Sarek's eyes narrowed. Find out. Send probes. I want to know if Earth still breathes, or if something far worse has awakened. Earth's underground heart beneath the barren, quiet surface of Earth, deep underground. Something was indeed awakening, in a vast steel chamber, buried under the Rockies. Command Center, Haven 1 roared with life, for the first time in 2 centuries. Screens flickered on. Systems came online, one after another. Commander Elias Crow stood at the center of it all. A tall man with grey streaks in his hair and sharp eyes that carried the weight of secrets. He turned to his second-in-command, Major Lena Carter, who stared at the glowing displays in awe. "Is this real?" Lena whispered. Athena actually reactivated the entire defense grid. Crow's voice was calm but heavy. "Yes, the war satellites have woken. The outer perimeter is online. And if the galaxy keeps pushing, they're going to see what we've been building all this time." The AI awakens. Thena's voice filled the room, smooth and commanding. "Commander Crow, Leviathan Protocol is at 12% completion. Surface shields remain dormant. Subterranean factories are active. Shall I proceed with Phase 2? Crow placed his hands behind his back, his mind sharp and calculating. "Activate Phase 2. Quietly. I don't want the galaxy to know what we have yet." Phase 2 meant awakening Earth's silent arsenal. For 200 years, automated foundries, deep below the crust, had been manufacturing weapons and ships using old Terran war plans. The galaxy had forgotten humans. But humans had never forgotten the galaxy. The silent arsenals Athena's command spread. Massive armored doors opened in hidden valleys and under frozen oceans. Inside, sleek black war drones stirred from there, charging bays, humming like swarms of angry bees. Orbital defense cannons rose from ancient launch platforms buried beneath deserts. Stealth destroyers, covered in black adaptive plating, slid from underground hangars. Lena Carter stared at the tactical display as hundreds of Terran icons lit up. This is a fleet. No, this is bigger than a fleet. Crow, you've been hiding this from the galaxy for centuries." Crow gave a small, cold smile. "The galaxy forced us to hide. They mocked us. They pushed us aside. They called us weak, so we built in silence. We waited." Rumors spread like fire meanwhile, across alien space. Panic spread. The Valeri news networks ran headlines like, "Terran Ghost Satellite Destroys Scavenger Vessel. Is Earth Alive? Human. Arsenal Sighted." Kalon Trask read the reports. High. The galaxy was restless. For days, alien news channels had been replaying Earth's warning, that single cold message sent across every probe. "This is Earth. We have been silent, but not weak. Turn back, or the silence ends." Many dismissed it as a bluff, but not everyone was laughing anymore. There were whispers, that the Terrans had been building something in secret. The councils doubted the massive star station of Erelis Prime. The Galactic Council gathered in a private war room. Holograms of ships and fleet routes floated. Above the long obsidian table, Admiral Serac, his silver armor gleaming, slammed his clawed hand onto the table. "We are wasting time. Earth is one planet, one. If they have weapons, they cannot match the might of the galaxy." From across the room, General Kura of the Xyrix Union, a towering insectoid with razor mandibles, tilted her head. "Perhaps. But the Dune Whisperer's wreckage says otherwise. That was not a warning shot. That was precision destruction. A smaller, trembling delegate from the Velari Dominion added, "If they truly have awakened, do we risk provoking them?" Serac growled, "I will not fear primitives. We will send a test fleet 50 ships. If they are bluffing, Earth will burn. If they resist, we will crush them before they grow stronger." Kellen's warning young officer, Kalen Trask, stood silently in the corner, listening. His gut told him Sarek was making a mistake. "Admiral, with respect," Kalen said. "Slowly, what if they are not bluffing? The silence from Earth may have been preparation." Sarek's cold gaze fixed on him. "You fear them?" "No," Kalen replied. "But I do not underestimate enemies I do not understand." Serac turned back to the table. "Prepare the fleet. Mars will be our staging ground. We'll see how strong these Terrans really are." Earth watches from deep beneath Earth's surface. Commander Elias Crow and Athena watched the enemy movements through stolen signals. Dozens of alien ships were moving toward Saul's outer rim, scanning and probing. Lena Carter stood at Crow's sidearms crossed. "They're coming. They don't believe our warning." Crow's lips curved into a cold, almost amused smile. "Good. Let them test us. The galaxy thinks we're a dead world. It's time they meet our ghosts." The Shadow Fleet in a vast cavern beneath Antarctica, Earth's Shadow Fleet, came to life. These were not ordinary ships. Each vessel was designed for stealth and sudden destruction. Black holes coated in adaptive plating. Engines so quiet they barely left a trace. The lead ship, TSS Revenant, glowed faintly as its systems powered on. Its captain, Arya Vale, a battle-hardened Terran pilot, looked at her crew. "The galaxy thinks we're weak. Today, we remind them who we are." The alien fleet arrives near Mars. Sarek's test fleet emerged from hyperspace. 50 warships glimmered like blades of silver and crimson, their hulls reflecting the cold sunlight. The alien crews laughed as they scanned the empty space ahead. "No human ships detected," Azyric's pilot reported. "Their defenses are outdated. This will be easy." Sarek's voice boomed over comms. "Advance. Destroy anything with a Terran signature." The ambushed aliens didn't know the Shadow Fleet was already there, cloaked and silent. Earth's warships hung between Mars and its moon Phobos. Commander Crow's voice came through the encrypted channel. "Do not engage until they cross the line. Let them believe they're safe." Arya Vale's fingers hovered over the controls. Her crew sat in complete silence, watching the alien fleet drift closer. The moment came. "Fire," Crow ordered. The first strike the TSS Revenant and its sister. Ships decloaked like predators, rising from the dark. Railguns and pulse cannons fired in a synchronized volley. 3 alien destroyers were vaporized in seconds. Serac roared over the comms. "What? Where did they come from?" The alien fleet scrambled, firing blindly at empty space. But Earth's ships vanished again, cloaking themselves. The Terran tactics, the Shadow Fleet played with them, peering, striking, disappearing. One Terran frigate darted through the alien formation, disabling engines with EMP bursts. Another fired long-range missiles from an asteroid's shadow. Within 5 minutes, 12 alien ships were destroyed. Sarek's second-in-command screamed, "We can't track them. It's like fighting shadows." The message then, without warning, every alien ship received the same transmission. A hologram of Commander Crow appeared, standing tall, his face stern and cold. You were warned. Earth is not weak. Leave Sol, or your fleets will die in silence. Serix Furusarix snarled at the hologram. Human, you think your tricks can save you? We will return with an armada. You will be crushed. Crow's expression did not change. Try. But know this, the moment you cross our line again, the galaxy will learn what happens when humanity stops being silent. The transmission ended. At the same moment, 2 more alien cruisers exploded, a silent reminder that Crow wasn't bluffing. The retreat Serac had no choice. With half his fleet crippled and sensors useless against Earth's stealth ships, he ordered retreat. Pull back. This isn't over. As the alien fleet limped out of Mars orbit, Arya Vale's voice came over, comes to Crow. That was too easy, Commander. They'll be back. Crow nodded. Good. Let them come. We've only shown them the shadows, not the fire. The galaxy trembles. News of the defeat spread fast. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy was afraid of Earth. Rumors exploded. Terran ships can't be tracked. They have weapons that cut ships in half with one shot. Earth has a fleet of ghosts. Kalen Trask, watching the reports, whispered to himself, what else are they hiding? The silent forge. Back on Earth, Athena spoke to Crow. Phase 2 is complete. Shadow Fleet operational. Do you wish to begin Phase 3? Crow stared at the hologram of the Leviathan, Earth's largest and most dangerous warship. Not yet, he said. Let them wonder. Let them fear the shadows. When the time comes, we'll show them the Leviathan. The cliffhanger, the deep void beyond Neptune, an alien probe activated stealth mode. Unlike the others, this one made it past the defenses for. Now it captured a single, terrifying image. A massive Terran ship under construction. Before it could transmit, a black drone lunged from the darkness, tearing it apart. Athena's voice echoed through Haven 1. Intrusion. Attempt detected. All threats neutralized. Preparing escalation protocols. The galaxy was no longer laughing. Every broadcast, every council meeting, every shadowed corner of alien politics now echoed with the same name. Earth, after the destruction of Admiral Sarek's fleet near Mars. Alien empires realized that this forgotten world was not only alive, but dangerous. The galactic emergency on Errorless Prime. The Galactic Council held an emergency session. The hall was silent as footage of the ambush near Mars played again. Alien warships torn apart by invisible attacks. General Kura of the Xyrix Union clicked her mandibles nervously. 50 ships, gone or crippled. Not a single Terran casualty. What kind of technology does one planet possess to do this? A Valari delegate spoke in a trembling voice. Our probes cannot enter their system. Every drone sent past Pluto is destroyed. It's as if Sol is alive. Serac, furious but shaken, slammed his fist on the table. We return with force. I will bring 500 warships. We will wipe them from existence. But the room was uneasy. Some whispered what Kalen Trask had already begun to suspect. What if Earth is stronger than all of us? Kellen's theory after the meeting. Young officer Kalen Trask pulled up every archived Terran file he could find. Old battle records, ancient war footage, designs of human ships that once rivaled the best fleets of the galaxy. Humans don't stop, Kalen murmured to himself. They build, even when no one is watching. When he reviewed the last signal from Sarek's defeat, Kalen froze. In the blurred data, for just one frame, he saw something massive. A ship larger than anything he'd seen before. Its outline was faint, but its size dwarfed the alien cruisers. "What are you hiding, Terrans?" Kalen whispered, "The Leviathan's history deep under the mountain bunkers of Haven 1. Commander Elias Crow stood before the Leviathan's hologram. The giant warship loomed like a shadowed titan, its sleek black hull lined with hidden weapons. Lena Carter joined him, eyes wide. "I've seen carriers, I've seen orbital dreadnoughts, but this is something else. What is the Leviathan really?" Crow's gaze was distant. "The Leviathan was born from humiliation," he said. "Centuries ago, when the galaxy pushed Earth out of its councils and mocked us as weak, we realized we had two choices: beg for respect, or build a weapon so terrible that they'd never laugh again." Athena's voice filled the room, calm but powerful. "The Leviathan project began 150 years ago, designed to be invisible until needed, powered by a solar core reactor capable of firing a beam that can burn through a planet's crust." Lena's breath caught. "A planet killer?" Crow nodded. "Not to destroy the galaxy, just to make them understand. Humanity doesn't fight to lose." The silent construction, the Leviathan, had been built in pieces, scattered across the solar system, its engines forged in orbital factories above Saturn's moons, its weapons built in the dark shipyards under Earth's oceans, its armor plating mined from asteroids, impossible to track. Hundreds of AI-controlled drones had worked for decades, assembling the ship in absolute secrecy. Even the stars hadn't noticed now, for the first time in its history. The Leviathan was nearly ready to rise. Alien spies, Faltha Velari, Dominion, sent cloaked drones into Sol again, desperate to confirm what Earth was hiding. Each drone vanished within hours. Some were shredded by invisible railgun F. The void above Neptune twisted with light. Admiral Sarek's armada arrived in formation, 500 warships strong. The alien fleet glimmered like a storm of Blade's massive carriers, hulking dreadnoughts and swarms of gunships, all bristling with weapons. Sarak stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Vanguard's Wrath, a towering battleship with hull plating thick enough to survive a meteor impact. "We enter Sol. Today, the Terrans will know fear," he growled. The galaxy watchers, every galactic news network streamed live updates of Sarek's armada. Commentators spoke with excitement, certain that this would be a quick and brutal victory. 500 ships against one planet, a Velari anchor said. "Earth will not survive this day." But in the shadows of Sol, human eyes were already watching Haven -1 react steep beneath Earth's surface. Commander Elias Crow stood over the glowing tactical display in Haven 1's war room. Red enemy markers spread across the map as fleet approached. Athena's voice filled the room. "Enemy fleet detected. Strength overwhelming. Confidence high. Probability of immediate attack 91%. Lena Carter clenched her fists. 500 ships, Crow. Even with the Shadow Fleet, we can't take them head-on. Crow's face remained calm. "We won't take them head-on. We'll let them walk into our trap. And when the Leviathan rises, the galaxy will see what happens when you wake a sleeping giant." The Shadow Fleet deploys hidden among the asteroid belt and the dark side of Mars. Earth's Shadow Fleet moved silently. Arya Vale, captain of the TSS Revenant, received Crow's orders. Phase 1 begins. Target their scouts. Leave no survivors. Arya grinned. "Let's give them a proper welcome." The first contact, the alien fleet launched 20 scout ships ahead of the main armada. Their job was simple: Sweep Mars, scan the asteroid belt, and find any human presence. The scouts never made it back. As they entered the belt, railguns fired from the dark, silent rocks. Terran stealth frigates picked off each scout with deadly precision, one shot. One kill dot by the time Sarek realized something was wrong. All 20 scouts had vanished. Sarek's frustration on the bridge of the Vanguard's wrath. Sarek roared, "Find them. These humans hide like insects, but we will crush them." Kalon Trask, standing nearby, frowned at the tactical screen. "Admiral, with respect, they know this system better than we do. If we keep pushing blindly, we'll lose more than scouts." Serac glared at him. "We have numbers. Numbers win wars." Kalon muttered under his breath, "Not if you're fighting ghosts." The ambushers, the main fleet, pushed past Mars. Earth struck. The shadow fleet decloaked from the asteroid belt like predators emerging from the dark. The Revenant fired a salvo of plasma torpedoes, tearing through an alien cruiser. The Black Veil disabled a carrier's engines with an EMP strike. Terran drones swarmed the edges of the formation, slicing smaller ships apart. The aliens panicked. "We can't track them." One officer shouted, "They appear and vanish. We're firing blind." Within 10 minutes, 15 alien warships were destroyed with 0 human losses. Crow's cold broadcasters, the battle raged. Every alien ship received a direct transmission. Commander Crow's face appeared calm, sharp, unshaken. "You were warned. Leave Sol now. This is your only chance." Serok snarled at the hologram. "You dare threaten me, human? You think shadows will save you from the firepower of 500 ships?" Crow's gaze was like steel. "You've only seen the shadows. You haven't seen the fire." The transmission cut off. The Leviathan awakens in the black void beyond Jupiter. Something enormous moved. The TSS Leviathan, Earth's ultimate weapon, was fully operational. Its engines burned like captured stars. Its stealth systems shimmered, bending light around its colossal frame. This was not a ship. It was a floating fortress. Inside, hundreds of Terran pilots and engineers worked in silence, their faces set with grim determination. "Leviathan to Haven 1, Captain Rhea Morgan spoke. The beast is awake." Crow's voice responded, steady and commanding. "Hold position, Captain. When Sarek's pride blinds him, that's when we strike." The Armada pushes forward, despite losing ships. Sarek pressed on. "Forward, we crush Earth now." The alien Armada split into 2 formations, one heading toward the moon, the other sweeping Mars orbit. Kellen's warning fell on deaf ears. "Admiral, we're walking into their territory. Their weapons, they're not conventional. We don't understand their tech." Serac snapped, "I don't need to understand it. I just need to burn it." Athena's calculations. In Haven 1, Athena monitored the alien fleet's movements. Enemy formation, vulnerable in Quadrant 3C. Shadow fleet ready to exploit weakness. Crow leaned over the tactical display. "Arya, cut off their left flank. I want them isolated and bleeding before they even see the Leviathan." The second clash, the Shadow fleet struck again, emerging from behind Phobos and ripping into the alien flank. Terran war drones tore through smaller ships like wolves through sheep. In a matter of minutes, 8 alien destroyers were gone. 2 carriers were crippled. Panic began spreading among the alien ranks. "We can't hold formation," Azyric's captain cried. "Their ships vanish before we can target them." The final warning before launching the Leviathan, Crow gave the aliens one last chance. A message broadcast across every channel. This is your final warning. Leave Sol. If you do not, you will see what humanity has built in the dark. Laughed bitterly. Empty threats. Burn their world. Kalan, watching the devastation of his fleet, whispered to himself, Gods help us. He doesn't understand what's coming. The cliffhanger from the shadow of Jupiter, the Leviathans. Stealth systems deactivated. For the first time, the galaxy saw the ship. A monstrous black warship, longer than any dreadnought, bristling with weapons that glowed like molten suns. Its main cannon slowly powered up, aiming straight at Serek's flagship. Crow's voice echoed in Serek's comes. You should have left when you had the chance. Silence. For a few heartbeats, the entire battlefield froze. The alien armada, which had been advancing with confidence, now stared into the dark void where the TSS Leviathan emerged. It was huge, larger than any dreadnought the galaxy had ever seen. Its black armor swallowed light, its glowing weapon ports pulsed like the heartbeat of a monster waking up. On the bridge of Vanguard's Wrath, Admiral Sarek's eyes widened. What is that? No one had an answer. The monster Awaken's commander, Ilias Crow, stood in Haven 1, watching through live feeds as the Leviathan powered up. The war room shook with the deep hum of its main weapon charging. This is it, Lena Carter whispered. They wanted to see Earth's strength. Now they will. Athena's voice was calm, but sharp. Leviathan's primary cannon at 60% charge. Estimated destruction radius, catastrophic. Crow's expression was stone. Let them see what silence has built. A warning shot on board the Leviathan. Captain Rhea Morgan stood at the command center, her crew waiting for her word. Target the lead ship, she ordered. One shot. Let's show them the truth. The massive main cannon rotated, aligning with Serek's flagship, the Vanguard's Wrath. It glowed brighter and brighter, until the entire space around Jupiter shimmered with energy. A single beam of blue-white plasma erupted. It cut across the battlefield like a sword through water. Impact. The Vanguard's Wrath shuddered violently as its shields collapsed in seconds. The beam didn't just hit it, tore through the ship's armored hull, slicing through metal and burning straight into its core. Alarms screamed. Panels exploded. Serok was thrown to the floor as his flagship began to disintegrate from within. Shields are gone. Azyric's officer cried. Hull breach on all decks. We're done. The galaxy watches. The entire scene was broadcast in real time. Galactic news channels, which had been so sure of Earth's defeat, now aired footage of the Leviathan cutting through Serek's fleet like paper dot in bars. Markets and stations across the galaxy, aliens stared in stunned silence. One shot, and the flagship is gone. No fleet can stand against that. Sarek's rage and fear in the burning bridge. Sarek pulled himself up, his face filled with disbelief and fury. What kind of weapon is this, Kalan? Trask, gripping the rail as sparks rained down, stared at the massive Terran warship. It's not a weapon, Admiral, Kalan whispered. It's a message. The second strike, the Leviathan didn't pause. Its side-mounted railguns fired next, invisible projectiles moving faster than sound. For alien destroyers simply split in half before they even realized they were under fire at the same time. Earth's shadow fleet decloaked around the armada, tearing into its flanks like wolves attacking a wounded prey. Within 10 minutes, 25 alien ships were destroyed. Crow's broadcasters, Serek's fleet scrambled. Every alien ship's comes flickered to life. Crow's voice filled the silence. You wanted war. You came to our home with pride and arrogance. But you forgot one thing. The camera panned, showing the Leviathan's glowing hull. Humanity does not forget, and we do not forgive. The desperate counterattack Serac roared, all ships. Fire everything. Take that monster down. Hundreds of missiles, plasma beams, and rail shots screamed through space toward the Leviathan. They hit and did nothing. The Leviathan's adaptive armor absorbed and redirected the energy, scattering the attacks like raindrops on steel. Up. Weapons aren't working. An alien captain yelled. They're shields. No, it's something else. We can't penetrate it. Leviathan strikes back. Captain Rhea Morgan smiled coldly. Return fire. The Leviathan's secondary plasma batteries lit up, firing in all dire. The galaxy was no longer mocking Earth. The footage of the Leviathan cutting through. Seric's fleet had spread across every system like wildfire. In markets, bars, and stations, aliens whispered in fear. One ship destroyed 50 warships in minutes. If they have more like it, no empire is safe. Seric's humiliation. Admiral Seric sat in silence on the bridge of the Vanguard's Wraths, replacement flagship Icaria, hastily retrofitted as his new command vessel. His pride had been shattered. Half of his armada had been destroyed or disabled by one human warship. He'd been forced to retreat in front of the galaxy. The Xyrex Council demanded answers. You promised victory, hissed one counselor through the holoscreen. Instead, you gave us fear. Seric's fists tightened. On the armrests, it is not fear, it is deception. They can't have many ships like that. We will rebuild. We will return. But even as he spoke, doubt crept into his mind. Kellen's quiet doubt, Kellen Trask, standing nearby, studied Serac with narrowed eyes. He had seen the Leviathan with his own eyes, and deep inside, he knew the truth. This was no bluff. Earth had been silent for centuries because they were building something the galaxy had never imagined. Later that night, Kalen accessed the encrypted logs from the battle. He paused the footage at the exact moment the Leviathan fired its primary cannon, the energy beam that had sliced through their strongest shields like they were paper. What kind of power core do they have? Kalen muttered. How did they build this without anyone knowing? The questions haunted him. The galaxy reacts across the galaxy. Panic spread. The Valari Dominion announced a temporary military lockdown, fearing Earth might strike first. The Xyrex Union increased border patrols, even though they were far from Sol. Rumors swirled. The humans have more Leviathans hidden under the ice of Europa. They're building weapons that can shatter stars. No one knew the truth, and that uncertainty made them afraid. Inside Haven 1, beneath Earth's surface, Commander Elias Crow stood in the command chamber of Haven 1, reviewing the battle reports. Athena's calm voice filled the room. Leviathan combat performance. 96% efficiency. Ammunition usage. Minimal. Damage sustained. Negligible. Crow exhaled slowly. Good. The galaxy needed to see what happens when they step on us. Lena Carter crossed her arms, but her face was troubled. You know they'll come back, right? The Council won't accept humiliation. They'll gather every fleet they can find. Crow nodded, and when they do, we'll be ready. Phase 2 Athena's hologram shifted, displaying the rest of Earth's secret arsenal, hidden stations, cloaked drone swarms, satellite cannons that hadn't been activated in centuries. Phase 2 of Operation Iron Eclipse is ready, Athena said. If they bring a war fleet, We will deploy all assets. Leviathan is not our only weapon. Lena frowned. How many weapons are we talking about? Crow's eyes narrowed, enough to make the galaxy regret ever coming near us. Kellan's warning back in the alien fleet's staging ground. Kalen could no longer stay silent. He confronted Serac in the war room. Admiral, listen to me. We can't fight them like this. They're not the humans from the old days. They've been preparing for this. Serac slammed his fist on the table. We are not cowards. We return to Sol with an army, thousands of ships if needed. Kellan's voice rose, sharper than before. And how many will die before you admit we don't understand their power? That ship Leviathan was just one piece. What if they have more? The room fell silent. Serac's jaw tightened, but for once, he didn't have an answer. Spies in the shadows, meanwhile. Alien intelligence agencies scrambled to learn more about Earth. A Valari infiltration team was sent to the outer rim of Sol, disguised as a trade convoy, but they never returned. The TSS Revenant intercepted them near the asteroid belt, dismantling their ships with surgical precision. Arya, Vale's voice echoed through the comms as she watched the wreckage drift into space. They still don't understand. This isn't a war they can win. The rising fear in the galactic media, the narrative shifted. What was once ridicule became fear and speculation. Why did Earth stay silent for 300 years? How many Leviathans exist? What if humanity wants revenge? For the first time, some species began to call for peace. But others, like the Zyrics and the Orith, demanded total war. Crow's decision. Crow knew what was coming. The next war fleet wouldn't be 500 ships, it would be thousands. And when they came, there would be no mercy. In the war room, he addressed the leaders of Haven 1. We can't wait for them to gather their strength. We must send a message, one they'll never forget. Lena's eyes narrowed. You're talking about attacking them first. Crow's face was cold. I'm talking about making sure they never think of attacking us again. The Leviathans? Secret weapon. Athena revealed the Leviathan's most dangerous system, Graviton Lance. A weapon capable of collapsing enemy ships with crushing force. It had never been tested in battle. The Graviton Lance can destroy multiple ships in one sweep, Athena said. But once we use it, the galaxy will know the full extent of our power. Crow's response was simple. Then it's time they know. Kellan's breaking point back on the alien fleet. Kalen reached his limit. He began secretly recording his own message, a warning, not to Serok, but to the galaxy. You don't understand the humans, Kalen whispered into the recorder. They're not weak, they're not finished. If we keep pushing them, they'll destroy everything. Cliffhanger for Part 7. In the darkness beyond Pluto, the Leviathan and the Shadow Fleet gathered in formation. Dozens of Terran war drones lined up beside the massive ship. Crow stood on the Leviathan's command deck, his voice cold and resolute. Send a signal to the galaxy. We are done hiding. The Leviathan's engines roared to life as it began moving toward deep space. This time, Earth wasn't waiting to be attacked. The Leviathan moved silently through the void. Its black armor reflected no starlight. Its engines hummed like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant, carrying a single, chilling message to the galaxy. Earth was no longer waiting. Commander Elias Crow stood at the viewing platform aboard the Leviathan. His sharp eyes scanned the tactical map glowing on the table in front of him. Red markers represented the nearest alien fleets gathering near the edge of Sol. We're done hiding, Crow said coldly. It's time they understand what war with humanity really means. Athena's warning, Athena's calm voice filled the command deck. Recon reports confirm Xyrix reinforcements near Alpha Draconis. Estimated strength, 300 warships. They are regrouping to strike Sol again. Lena Carter, standing beside Crow, clenched her jaw. They never learn, do they? Crow's tone was like iron. No. Which means we'll teach them the hard way. The target Athena projected a glowing star. Map. One system lit up. Drixa, for Xyrix forward base, where the next fleet was being assembled. This base is their staging ground, Athena said. Destroying it will cripple their invasion plans for months. Crow turned to Captain Rhea Morgan. Of the Leviathan, you're taking the beast in first. Shadow Fleet will follow. I want that base erased. No survivors. Rhea nodded, her expression calm and deadly. Understood. We'll make them remember who they're dealing with. Desperation on the alien fleet's side. Kalen Trask was growing frantic. He had seen what Leviathan could do. He knew what would happen if Earth struck first. In a private message to the Valerian Xyrix councils, Kalen spoke urgently. Call off the reinforcements. Do not provoke them further. I was there. I saw it. One ship destroyed half our fleet. Without effort, but his warnings were dismissed. You're afraid of primitives. One Xyrix elder sneered. We will crush them before they can rebuild. Kellen's fists tightened. You don't understand. They don't need to rebuild. They're already ready. The Leviathan arrives when the Leviathan dropped out of warp near Drixa 4. The base barely had time to react. The station's sensors screamed as the colossal Terran warship appeared, silent and menacing. On the Leviathan's bridge, Rhea Morgan gave the order. Bring the Graviton Lance online. The weapon, buried deep within the Leviathan's core, began to glow. Energy rippled across its black hull like lightning crawling over storm clouds. The first strike, the Xyrix fleet scrambled to defend the station. 30 ships surged forward, weapons blazing. The Leviathan didn't flinch. Its Graviton Lance fired, a beam of twisting energy that bent space itself. The Xyrix ships crumpled like paper under crushing force. Their hulls folded inward, crushed by invisible gravity, and then exploded into clouds of burning debris. Within seconds, an entire formation of ships was gone. The message Crow's voice transmitted to every Xyrix channel. This is Earth. We warned you. Stand down, or this will be the fate of every fleet you send. The surviving Xyrix captains hesitated, but the base commander shouted, Fire everything. Bring that monster down. The Xyrix ships unleashed their full arsenal missiles, plasma bolts, and ion bursts. The Leviathan's adaptive shields absorbed the hits, glowing faintly but holding firm. Then the Terran warship struck back. Its side railguns ripped apart 3 cruisers in one volley. Drone swarms from the Shadow Fleet arrived, tearing through enemy defenses. Plasma torpedoes smashed into the bases, shield generators, melting them like wax. The battle lasted less than 15 minutes. When it was over, Drixa 4 was burning. Kellen's broadcast Cologne watched the destruction unfold through intercepted feeds. He knew the galaxy was watching too. He recorded a desperate message. Listen. The warning came too late. Athena's voice filled Haven 1's war room. Multiple warp signatures detected. Estimated strength, 1,500 enemy ships. Arrival point, outer Sol system, near Neptune. The room fell silent. Lena Carter's face turned. Pale, 1,500 ships. They're throwing everything they have at us. Commander Elias Crow stood at the center of the tactical display, his hands clasped behind his back. Then we'll show them everything we've built to stop them. The arrival of the Super Armadain, the blackness beyond Neptune, space warped with light. The joint Xyrix Valeriorith fleet appeared, a wall of steel and firepower stretching across the stars. Dreadnoughts the size of cities, carrier groups, bristling with fighter swarms, siege ships with planetary bombardment cannons. At the fleet's center floated the Dominator-class supercarrier, the pride of the Xyrix fleet. Admiral Serac stood on its bridge, his jaw set. No more running, no more shame. We burn Earth to ashes today. Kellen's Fear Kellen Trask stood behind Serac, watching the fleet of 1,500 ships spread like a storm front. His chest tightened. He thought of the Leviathan. He thought of Drixophores. Destruction. Admiral Kalen said quietly, "You've seen what they can do. If we fail here, we may not survive at all." Serac didn't look at him. "We have numbers. Numbers always win." Kalen swallowed hard. "Unless you're fighting something that doesn't care about numbers." Earth's preparations beneath Earth's crust. Haven 1 trembled with activity. Thousands of engineers, pilots, and soldiers moved like a single machine, preparing for the largest battle in human history. Athena's voice was steady. Orbital defense platforms online. Shadow Fleet positioned near Mars. Leviathan ready for deployment. Crow stood with Captain Rhea Morgan of the Leviathan. "This is it," he said. "Everything we've built for 200 years. It all comes down to today." Lena Carter added, "If they break through, there's no fallback." Crow's voice was cold but unshaken. "Then they won't break through." The first move. Alien Armada began advancing from Neptune, their formation flawless. A line of battleships moved ahead, their massive guns glowing with energy. Athena spoke. "Enemy fleets entering attack range. Suggest immediate counterstrike." Crow's command was sharp. Phase 1. Activate the orbital lances. The orbital lances high above Earth's surface. 10 colossal satellites came to life. Their cores glowed with compressed plasma, each one a weapon capable of tearing apart battleships. From orbit. They fired. 10 beams of pure white energy cut across the darkness, each targeting a lead Xyrix cruiser. The result was devastating. 5 cruisers vaporized instantly. 2 carriers crippled beyond repair. Dozens of fighters shredded in the shockwaves. Sarek shock on board the Dominator. Sarek's mouth dropped open as his ships vanished in seconds. What was that? What weapons do they have in orbit? Kellen's voice was grim. "You still think this is just one ship, Admiral? Look at what they've hidden around their planet. We don't understand their technology." Sarek slammed his fist on the console. "Then we'll crush them with brute force. Push forward." The Shadow Fleet strikes as the alien armada advanced. Terran stealth frigates emerged from the asteroid belt. The Shadow Fleet hit their rear lines like wolves attacking a herd. The Revenant fired a barrage of railgun rounds, piercing the engines of an Orith dreadnought. The Black Veil launched EMP pulses that disabled fighter swarms mid-flight. Terran drones moved in packs, slicing apart Xyrix gunships. Within 10 minutes, the alien rearguard was in chaos. The Leviathan appears, then the galaxy's worst fear became real. From the shadow of Jupiter, the Leviathan decloaked. Its black hull gleamed like a blade in the dark. Its weapons glowed, charging for war. Crow's voice transmitted across all channels. "This is your last chance. Leave Sol now, or you will not leave at all." Admiral Sarek snarled. "Fire everything at that monster. Everything." The alien fleet unleashed a storm of firepower. Thousands of plasma bolts, missiles, and rail shots streaked across space, all aimed at the Leviathan dot. But the Terran warship's adaptive shields held firm. The attacks hit, flared, and vanished. "They can't even scratch it," Kalen muttered in disbelief. The Leviathans counterattacked. Captain Rhea Morgan stood on the Leviathan's bridge, her voice calm. "Target the lead ships. Fire all primary weapons." The Leviathan's main cannon roared. A single shot tore through 5 Xyrix destroyers, cutting them in half. Its graviton lance followed, pulling two Velari carriers into a crushing ball of molten metal in less than 5 minutes. Dozens of alien warships were gone. The battle across Solder Fight spread across the solar system, near Mars. Shadow Fleet ambushed alien reinforcements, tearing them apart with precision strikes. Earth's orbital platforms continued firing, raining beams of destruction on the enemy. Swarms of Terran drones outmaneuvered alien fighters, cutting them down like insects. For every Terran loss, 10 alien ships fell. Kellen's breaking point. Kalen stared at the destruction in horror. "Admiral, we need to retreat. This is suicide." Sarek roared back. "No. We fight until the last ship. I will not be humiliated again." Kellen's hands trembled. He realized Sarek would rather die than admit defeat. Earth's final Pleiadian voice echoed through Haven 1. Enemy fleet strength reduced to 1,100 ships. Suggest deployment of Skyfire array. Crow nodded. "Do it. Burn them out of our skies." The Skyfire array from the moon's surface. Massive hidden cannons emerged. Each cannon charged with energy so bright it lit the lunar surface like daylight. When they fired, a rain of plasma bolts swept across space, striking the alien fleet with devastating force. The result was chaos. For Xyrix carriers exploded in chain reactions. A Velari battleship broke apart like glass. 50 alien ships were destroyed in under 2 minutes. The cliffhanger as the battle raged. Athena's voice sharpened. "Commander, I've detected a second wave approaching from deep warp. Estimated size, 700 ships. They will arrive in 20 minutes. Crow's eyes hardened. "Then we hold. We show them what Earth really is." The Leviathan turned, charging its main cannon again as the first super armada continued to fall. The battle for Sol burned like a second sun. The first alien armada was broken, drifting in pieces across the void near Jupiter. But Athena's voice cut through the brief moment of calm. "Warning, second wave incoming. Estimated time to arrival, 18 minutes. Fleet size, 700 ships. Reinforced with heavy carriers and dreadnought-class vessels." Commander Elias Crow stood on the Leviathan's bridge, his jaw clenched like steel. "They think numbers will save them," he said softly. "They haven't learned yet." The wreckage of war across the solar system. Terran forces scrambled to prepare. The Shadow Fleet regrouped near Mars, their hulls scorched from battle but ready for another strike. The Skyfire array on the moon recharged, its plasma barrels glowing faintly like embers. Lena Carter stood next to Crow, her voice low. "We lost 30 drones and 2 frigates. That's nothing compared to what they lost, but if this second wave pushes hard, we'll need more than what we have." Crow's eyes were cold and calculating. "Then it's time to use the Aegis protocol." The secret weapon Athena's hologram shifted, revealing a dark triangular structure buried deep within Earth's crust. "Project Aegis," Athena said. A planetary defense system designed for one purpose: annihilation of large fleets. Lena's eyes widened. You're talking about the solar spear, aren't you? Crow gave a single nod. The galaxy thinks the Leviathan is our strongest weapon. They're wrong. The spear hasn't fired in 2 centuries, but if we use it, nothing will survive in its path. The second armada arrives, the stars near Neptune twisted, and 700 alien warships emerged from warp. The fleet was even larger than the first, fresh, well-armed and fueled by vengeance. At its head was a massive Xyrix superdreadnought, twice the size of Seric's original flagship. On its bridge, Admiral Seric stood, his face like carved stone. This time, there will be no retreat. We crush Earth, or we die. Kalen Trask stood beside him, pale and grim. You don't understand what's waiting for us. The first armada barely touched them. Seric, if we do this, Seric cut him off. Enough. You've lost your courage, Kalen. I haven't. The first clash, as the second wave advanced. The Leviathan fired first. Its graviton lance tore through 3 enemy destroyers. Railgun barrages followed, ripping apart fighter formations. But this time, the alien fleet didn't scatter. They came forward with shields layered and overlapping, trying to overwhelm the Leviathan by sheer volume. Missiles rained down on the Terran ship, shaking its shields. Rhea Morgan's voice was sharp. Shields at 75%. Holding steady. The solar spear awakens in Haven 1. The ground trembled. Deep beneath Earth's surface, massive energy conduits lit up, feeding power into the solar spear. It was an ancient weapon, designed by a forgotten generation of Terrans when they first realized that the galaxy might one day turn against them. Athena's voice was steady, but colder than usual. Charging solar spear. Warning, full discharge will devastate all targets within 500,000 kilometers. Crow's face hardened. Do it. Kellen's realization. Kellen stood on the bridge of the Xyrix superdreadnought, watching the Leviathan tear through ships like a predator among prey. For the first time, he felt the crushing weight of fear. He whispered, "We don't belong here. We're not ready for this war." When Seric barked orders to press forward, Kalen made his decision. He turned to a junior officer. "Patch me through to every fleet channel, now." Kellen's